Printing money is bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's inflationary.
Mm-hmm.
But borrowing printed money is insane. Like the issuance of money,
Mm-hmm.
the issuance of the issue of trade is something few understand. They just don't get it at all. And if they did, as Henry Ford said, there would be a revolution before morning. The idea that you have to go work all week and then your labor is taxed at a ridiculous rate. If you own a business, a corporation, it earns a profit. It too is taxed at a ridiculous rate, nearly 30%. And foreign corporations are allowed to sell goods here and not pay any tax. So how much of a competitive advantage do they have over you, a typical American?
Well, thanks to you, there's a young fellow in my neighborhood that helped me put the battery in my truck because I have two tools. I have a screwdriver and a pliers,
Hammer and a butter knife.
A hammer and a butter knife. It's my tools. So he came down. He's a young kid, probably 30 or so, and so he started talking politics, and as kids do. And he said, "Well, I don't understand this all these people are into Donald Trump. Isn't he just like?" Isn't he just like part of the 1%? And then he was asking me, he said, and he was really serious. He said, well, why is there such a difference between, 1% of the people and all the people that don't have any money and all that?
Well, because they're the ones that own the multinational corporations that take advantage of this free trade. So naturally, it cuts labor out of the equation. If you think about the labor movement in the United States from the Homestead strike in Colorado, right to the present, well, that's a 1969 maybe. The gains made by America's workers were not surpassed anywhere in the world. We were the envy of the world. The 40-hour work week, the paid vacations, the health benefits, all this stuff was you couldn't put a price tag on it. This was the most valuable thing that you could have as a worker. Guaranteed pension, guaranteed job, so forth, and worker safety.
Mm-hmm.
You could come to work and know it's well lit. You have proper respiratory devices, and
some places even had little cushions you stand on.
Sure,
Right?
All the ergonomic stuff.
Yeah.
So all of these gains made by labor unions for the American worker to get a bigger piece of the pie, right? Instead of just the boss making all the money and the workers being in the worst condition, getting the lowest wages, workers were becoming stakeholders and collective bargaining. We all bargained together as one. And that sort of thing was all American. That was American. And sure, it cost the 1%ers, but it spread the wealth a little more evenly so that you had a middle class. As Henry Ford put it, you had someone who could afford to actually buy the car that we manufacture. And it really helped America, well, much to the chagrin of the 1% who had to give away a bigger portion of their earnings to the workers. And they found a way around it all by moving the plantation, moving to a foreign country, which has no environmental regulation, no worker safety regulation, no regulation of any sort. In fact, if you pay the dictator enough, he'll capture people for you to work in your factory.
Sure. Yeah.
So
tie them up at night so they don't escape.
So they can't escape. Put a fence around the place. Yeah, absolutely. Bunk them in these trailers. You go Google Apple working conditions in China, and you will be stunned.
Really?
It's amazing, unbelievable what they do to workers in terms of providing for them. So all of this gain made by the American populace in terms of environmental protection, worker safety, work rules, collective bargaining, were all subverted with this free trade idea. The idea that they could manufacture those goods by any means and then bring them back to the United States and sell them into our marketplace with no tax, no income tax, no tariff, nothing. All of their profits are taken back to their home country, where their government in the home country gets a piece of it and uses it to build their infrastructure. That's why you look at cities like Dubai, and you look at cities like Tokyo, and you look at cities in China. That's all American money. That's what that is. They've taken our money, our productive wealth, and transferred it over there. And sure, it's improved their standard of living, but look at what's happened to ours. And that's why I say it's time for America to get selfish.
Well,